if you are an old guy like me, a baby boomer who's had a 401k or an IRA, what I call defined contribution, DC pension plans, this is your show. And if you're a young person with a 401k, I'll take laps around the rosary beads for you tonight because you're an idiot. So this is what this show is about, because you might be in financial trouble. Your parents or your grandparents might be in severe financial trouble today because that 1974 Act, the ERISA Act, which led to the 401k and these IRAs and Roth IRAs, was specially designed for people who want to be told what to do. Go to school, get a job. Dave Ramsey's a friend of mine, and he says live debt-free. And truthfully, most people should do that, but I would never do that. Debt is money. So I come from the other side of the coin. It's all coins of three sides, heads, tails, and the edge. So on the other side of the coin is Dave Ramsey, who's saying live debt-free, and most people should because they don't know how to handle debt. On the other side of the coin is I went to school to learn how to handle debt, how to raise capital using other people's money. And when you've lost somebody's money, it's pretty frightening. And so that's why I don't do this stuff, because that's the problem. You got conditioned to be led by foolish people who tell you what to do with your money. And I meet so many young people, I got a great job. It's got a 401k. I drop to my knees and take laps around the rosary beads. I said, this person's in severe trouble down the road. So with that, as you know, the markets are crashing. Our debt to GDP ratios are now like 125%. It's never been this high. We're the biggest debtor nation in the world, and people are in trouble. I don't really know what's going to happen, but something has to give. You just cannot keep printing money to solve financial problems. But if you awaken your financial genius, greed is good. Getting rich is fun. It's the most fun game I play. And the reason I like it is because markets go up and markets go down. It's like life. And it's just real life. But most people, so awaken your financial genius and take control of your financial future. So that's what happened for me, was that when having a rich dad and a poor dad, I saw my poor dad, a PhD from Stanford and Chicago and University in Northwestern. He was just so content to have a PhD and a job and a government pension. Government pension is kind of a defined benefit plan where you guaranteed a paycheck for life. That's defined benefit. And that's why so many people are government employees, which is why our government's going broke. Got all these people who get a government job for the defined benefit pension plan. We all know that. We know you're cowards. And, you just want to be told what to do and have somebody take care of you, give you a bottle of milk, which is no baby formula in it, unfortunately, but you're sucking on the nipple of the government, and the government's broke. That's a defined benefit pension plan. And then in 1974, they shuffled off to Buffalo all the baby boomers into defined contribution, which meant you had to contribute to it. And if it was there when you retired, good luck. You were lucky. But if it's not there, and that's what we're saying with this SOS show, it might not be there. Our education system is so corrupt, broken, and woke right now. But most academics have this point of view. I'm not interested in money. There's a self-righteous, stupid, underlying attitude, because I grew up with them. I'm not interested in money. I'm just going to do a good job for the kids because my whole life is dedicated to the kids. Well, why don't you educate them about money? Well, because I'm not interested in money. And there's this underlying mantra I've heard in so many people who are government employees. I'm just not interested in money. It's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard, because they're the first guys that fight when you take their paycheck away. And they'll sell their soul for their paycheck. But given the state of the economy, the stock market, and our brilliant leadership under Biden and Kamala, the border Harris czar, a war in Ukraine and inflation going through the roof, and Elon Musk laying off 10% of his workforce, we're talking about what you can do now given the state of the economy. And if you're holding, praying for your retirement, they'll say you're 65, you might be in serious trouble. I think in the baby boom generation, they're out of time. There's a very big difference because time is a big factor in this whole thing. So it's good. The crypto guys are learning it early. But the problem with our generation, my generation, was we came of age around, let's say, 1970. Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and all we knew was a boom economy. Even right after 2008, they just printed more money and it kept booming. But that's why I said our debt to GDP is now 125%. It means for every dollar we bring in, we're spending, we can't cover it. Our tax dollars can't cover it. So they keep borrowing more money. Not really borrowing more money, but kind of propping the market up. Yeah. And now we're at the end of the line. But after you kind of realize what was going on in the stock market, all markets boom and all markets bust. But this could be the biggest bust in world history. It's a global bust. we might have a global depression again. You know, I grew up in a family of government employees, and their whole thing is this self-righteous attitude is, I'm not interested in money. I just want to do a good job for the community. Biggest lie I ever heard. You try to take their paycheck away, they fight like dogs. They'll bite you in the hand. You know, I mean, it's the biggest lie. And so many people will sell their soul now. They'll do anything to keep that job. But they're not interested in money because money is the root of all evil, you know. And that's what I hear going on all the time. So anyway, let's start this whole thing off is when financial planners became the fad new profession, you know, every school teacher, not every, but, you know, they were just leaving in droves. Poor leading the blind. It's just shocking what's happened. Our problem is education. I mean, it's so hardcore Marxist right now. That is the communist game plan. It has always been to invade higher education. Yeah. So in 1930, the Frankfurt School sent teachers to Columbia University in New York, and that's when the student protests began. And America became communist through our education system. I'm making more money than ever before today, but because I am a proactive investor. I was just saying to John, I just sold 2 properties that we made quite a bit of money on. And I said, where do you put your money? Well, you put it in cash. I bought Wagyu bulls, you know, breeding bulls. This is a Japanese breeding bull, which I always wanted to be, but never got there. But anyway, I'm in the food business now.